Hello everyone, it is me once again presenting you popular horror movie locations in and around London. Thank you for enjoying the last video and I hope you come to enjoy this one as well. The title is pretty self-explanatory, but the first half of this video will be more focused around Frenzy, since the whole movie was kind of an homage to London, and the second half will focus on generally popular horror movie locations in and around London. Alfred Hitchcock, a name that resonates through our horror culture and media. Hitchcock was a pioneer in the cinema industry. He directed over 50 feature films in his 6-decade career, one of which was a film titled Frenzy. This 1972 psychological horror was set and filmed in the city of London. Hitchcock's father was a Covent Garden merchant, and as such, this movie was made as an homage to the London of his childhood. You see, nowadays, Covent Garden is no longer a produce market, but rather a tourist hotspot housing many popular brands such as Chanel, Swarovski, and many others. Noticing that its produce days were numbered, Hitchcock decided to document the Covent Garden of the past. We'll start off with the icon that is Covent Garden. As stated before, modern-day Covent Garden resembles in no way the Covent Garden showcased in Hitchcock's penultimate film. Regardless, I went and found some of the locations in and around Covent Garden and paralleled them modern on past. I tried to replicate the same shots that were used in the movies so that you could really see the juxtaposition between everything. For example, in this shot you can see the same building in the back. Next, we'll showcase the lovely Riverside Walkway, Southbank. Now, calling it what it is doesn't give it credit where it's due, to be honest. It's so much more than just a walkway. Southbank stretches along the River Thames, lined with restaurants, world-class venues, and often fairs and events. It's a commonly known location to hang out if you want to have a variety of fun. It's also the home of the Southbank skate park. The popular undercroft has been around for more than 40 years now and is still very much alive. This was a nice location to not only introduce the movie, but also the killer. And here is another direct parallel. Now that we've gone over the Frenzy segment, I'll go over a few generally popular horror movie locations. These locations aren't only popular in horror movies, so I'll be talking about them in the general sense as well. Piccadilly Circus, a famous road junction used to connect Regent Street with Piccadilly. This location reminds me a little of Times Square in New York, though I think it's mostly because of the large advertising screens. Big showy advertisements like these are rare to find in London, as far as I've seen, and this is the major place to have your brand showed off. Piccadilly Circus is located right next to Leicester Square, another tourist location, which makes it a prime location to pass by. In the middle of it is the Shaftesbury Memorial Fountain, to commemorate the works of philanthropist Lord Shaftesbury. Alongside being a philanthropist, he was also known as a Victorian politician and social reformer. On top of the fountain, we'll find the Greek god Anternos, god of requited love. Finally, we have the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. Now, fun fact, Big Ben isn't actually called Big Ben. That's only the name of the clock within it. The clock's actual name is Elizabeth Tower, named after the one and only Queen Elizabeth II. It's quite a striking, no clock joke intended, part of the Houses of Parliament. The Houses of Parliament is where laws are passed and lots of government activity happens. There is the House of Commons and the House of Lords. The main differences between the two houses is that the House of Commons is responsible for making decisions about money, such as new tax laws, and the members of Parliament in the House of Commons are elected every few years. Each member represents one area of the UK. The House of Lords members are not elected and have the task of making/checking and challenging the work of the government.